What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all who celebrate. This isn't going to be a very long video. It's not going to be super in-depth, just kind of my quick hitters on the Kansas City Chiefs 29-10 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers to clinch the number 1 seed on Christmas Day. I'm sure a lot of you guys are having a much merrier Christmas this year because the Kansas City Chiefs did not disappoint on the special holiday, and they left a number 1 seed under all of our Christmas trees this year, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. They now move to 15-1 on the regular season. They'll get to rest their starters next week after clinching the 1 seed. And honestly, guys, not too many complaints from this game. All things considered, this was one of the better performances of the Chiefs season. And it was one of the better performances of the Chiefs season on both sides of the ball, which is extremely impressive when you consider that they did not have Chris Jones. And I think I actually want to start there. So the Kansas City Chiefs sacked Russell Wilson 5 times in this game. And it wasn't just 5 sacks where 3 of them were coverage sacks or whatever. They were 5 real sacks. And even Felix Anudike-Uzomah got one, and he looked like an absolute monster turning the corner on his pass rush. I hope that is something that we see more heading into the postseason. It was nice to see him get to play more today. Still disappointed that they did not activate Joshua Uche for this one. I thought this would be the perfect game for him to get into the rotation, and you moved Dana and Omenihu inside a little bit more to kind of replicate the pass rush juice that Chris Jones gives you typically. And of course, he didn't play today. But I mean, no Chris Jones, and I thought the pass rush did not skip a beat. I thought the defense looked really good. Yeah, still a few times where the defense gave up some huge passing plays to Russell Wilson and the Steelers. That George Pickens connection, that just is a tough one, man. George Pickens can be kind of a bonehead sometimes, and he was in this game as well, and you can tell he gets really frustrated if he's not getting the ball consistently. But he made a few plays in this one, and he really tested these Chiefs DBs. But I want to shout out one in particular. That was Keith Taylor, who had a really, really nice coverage rep down in the red zone on George Pickens that led to one of Russell Wilson's sacks that he took. And it was really sticky coverage on George Pickens by Keith Taylor, and Russell Wilson was looking for him, but he couldn't go there because of Keith Taylor. And I thought he showed some really nice reps today after, of course, Josh Williams and Najee Johnson both struggled here and there. That's been kind of the thing with them. They both struggle until Spags ultimately decides to throw Keith Taylor out there and see what he can give you. And I mean, there was a 3rd and 14 today, and this is kind of what I was trying to get to earlier, and then I went off on a different tangent. But couple things to poke out here and there, one of them being, the 3rd and long defense still just is like, annoying. Like, come on, Spags, 3rd and 14, and they have a guy wide open. I even tweeted right before that, I was like, how's Spags going to give up this 3rd and 15? And I don't know what the Chiefs' defensive success rate is on 3rd and 10 and longer, but it has to be one of the worst in the league. That has to get cleaned up by the time you get into the postseason. I hope we can get Steven Nelson worked into the rotation. I hope Keith Taylor takes this momentum into the postseason. I hope Chamari Connor can come back and you have that position group at full strength, because they just cannot take any more hits there. And I know Justin Reed went down a couple times today with an injury, but he ended up coming back in, so it looks like he's okay. But they cannot afford any more injuries there in the secondary, because it has just been rough with Joshua Williams and Najee Johnson at times, and the 3rd and long defense is getting really annoying. But I think the secondary, is only going to get more help when Chris Jones returns to the lineup in the postseason, and he's going to get the proper rest that he needs now with the bye week now being clinched and being able to rest next week against the Denver Broncos. That's all big, and it's big for this defense because, well, really the whole team, but, just talking about the defense, some of their struggles, this is a unit that is very tired. The whole team is tired, but that certainly plays a part, and they're just trying to get through these games and come out with a win. You guys know that I'm always a skeptic about this team during the regular season at different points. I never went full freak out this year and said they're not winning the Super Bowl. No way, not with this team like I did last year. I mean, they proved me wrong. They shut me up, and they flipped that switch when they needed to. So I haven't gone full freak out this year, but I still asked questions at times, and I also tweeted this out during the game, but I said, This team just does really stupid stuff sometimes to make me think like they don't have it or they're not serious. But the regular seasons of years past just have taught me differently. And I was also having a conversation with a friend after the game, and he was talking about how teams that have typically gone or won 15 games, I should say, in the regular season, they have like an awful record when it comes to winning the Super Bowl or succeeding in the postseason. And I thought about that a lot. I kind of was thinking about that while watching this game, and I think that it's worth noting, really, that this team is just trying to win these games and move on. Now, they were still playing bad there for a minute against the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns and like the really bad teams. Like those were just bad performances. Those were inexcusable, and even Patrick Mahomes said that. But for the most part, this team's just trying to get through the regular season. Because if you look historically at teams that have won 15 games or more in the regular season, they do not do well in the postseason. And the reason for that is because when you exert all of your energy to win that many games in the regular season, it can come back to bite in the postseason. Now, the data is a little bit less valuable because of the fact that we now have a 17th game in an expanded playoff. So it's kind of hard to say now how much more set up for success you are winning 15 games with this new one. But I will say, there's only one bye now. And so being the one seed is a lot more valuable than it was before when they gave out 2 byes for playoff teams. So really, the point that I'm making is that the Kansas City Chiefs are just trying to win these games by the thinnest margins, and they wanted to get that 1 seed. They accomplished that, and they did it all without really ever putting their best performance out on the field. And I think that's overall a positive thing, especially when you look at the improvements that this team has made over the season. I think that's a perfect transition into the offense, which total nearly 400 total yards of offense today, 320 passing, 69 rushing. They weren't the greatest on third down. The play calling at times was whatever, but you can just go back to my point that I made just a minute ago. Like, I'm not judging anything yet. This is not the judgment material that the Kansas City Chiefs are putting out on the field right now. But when you look at the overall numbers, the Chiefs offense played well today. Patrick Mahomes had one of his best games of the season. He threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce looked alive in this one, 8 catches for 84 yards, and he became the all-time receiving touchdowns leader in franchise history today. So congrats to Travis Kelce, and heck of a career if this ends up being it for him. Now, it's a conversation for another day. But Xavier Worthy also added 8 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown. Just another step forward for him. That might be his highest total of the season. I'd have to double check, but it's just another step forward for him. And I think we're seeing the breakout right now. Xavier Worthy has been putting on a show over the last 6 or 7 weeks, doing more of the little things right, becoming a real well-rounded wide receiver for this team. He looks good. He looks really good right now. And he's rounding into form right when the Chiefs need him most, just like Rashee Rice did last year, and that's a good thing. Hollywood Brown added another 4 catches for 46 yards, and he had another one that looked like it would have gone for a big gain, but Mahomes threw it behind him. And then there was another play in the red zone where Patrick Mahomes had Hollywood Brown open, and I think he would have scored. Hollywood Brown, you guys probably know the one I'm talking about. He was open for a touchdown. But Mahomes decided to hold on, steps up in the pocket, decides to go towards Travis Kelce instead, and the ball gets batted to the ground by a Steelers defender. But man, Hollywood Brown is right there too. Like, you see the difference that he makes in this offense. Samaje Perine made plays here and there. Juju Smith-Schuster, D-Hop, it was overall a good offensive performance. They didn't run the ball super well, but it didn't even really seem like they were trying to. Kareem Hunt had 9 carries for 20 yards, and Isaiah Pacheco had 6 carries for 18 yards. I will say there's one bad thing about the offense. Have we really seen Isaiah Pacheco play all that well since he's returned from injury? Because we haven't really seen it, and it's kind of painful to watch him run the football right now. I'm just not seeing the positive runs enough from him. Now, Kareem Hunt, he only averaged 2.2 yards per carry today, but they also used him a lot in short yardage, and they used him there at the end of the game to help run out the clock. So his yards per carry were going to go down inevitably. But there was a play today, the Chiefs in short yardages at the very beginning, 4th and 1. They go to Kareem Hunt. He gets it, and the Chiefs learned from their mistake their prior 2 weeks, I should say. where they tried to run Isaiah Pacheco in short yardage and it didn't work. Kareem Hunt's vision is better. He's damn near automatic in short yardage, so keep doing that. Keep doing that, Andy. Special teams certainly could have been better. They gifted the Steelers 3 points when Justin Reeds jumped off sides on a field goal attempt in which they missed, but it ended up turning into a make after that. They also gifted the Steelers possession back on a stupid penalty. Harrison Butker missed an extra point, but it was also made a little bit more difficult because Xavier Worthy had it was a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty before, so that pushed it back 15 yards. So it's not totally Harrison Butker's fault, although that's a kick that he probably should make. We were so close to scoring 30 points today, and then, of course, that had to happen. That would have been the Chiefs' first time breaking 30 points this year, but nonetheless, they won. And I also think, you have to consider, once again, that this is the Chiefs' third game in the last 11 days. And to have the performance they did with a 4-day turnaround and only practicing once, and they beat a playoff team. Like, the Steelers were the third best team in the AFC this year. They're a playoff team. They win a lot of games, and the Chiefs dismantled them. I mean, you never really felt like the Steelers had a chance in it. And again, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are playing anything close to their best football right now. So, Chiefs win again. They beat another playoff team. They're 15-1. They won by multiple scores again for, the second time in 3 weeks, I believe. So they're getting hot at just the right time. You can't really complain much. And I mean, yes, there are things to poke here and there. I get it, and I did that. But there were a lot of positives in this game. I saw progression from players that I needed to see it from. Felix Anudike-Uzomah, Keith Taylor. There were good individual performances in this game. Xavier Worthy took another step forward. Defense played great without Chris Jones, so I'm not complaining. It's a Merry Christmas. Kansas City Chiefs win. 1 seed locked up. I love it. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments, though, what your thoughts are on this game. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know down below. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com for more. And I will see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs!